Well, it's finished here, Altrincham 1, Rochdale 2 at the J Davison Stadium in the Vanarama National League. Phil, a hard-fought game, but Altrincham come out on the wrong side of it. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, you've summed it up brilliantly. It was a really hard-fought game, both teams not really giving an inch. And the old adage saying, fine margins, we've come out the wrong end yet again. So it just shows where we're up to. We're not quite good enough, are we, at the moment? We're almost there, but almost isn't good enough. So yeah, we've got to be better.
Of course, Rochdale took the lead after 20 minutes after the ball came out off a corner. Is it frustrating to concede a goal off a set piece like that?
It's always frustrating to concede any goal, and one where could we have put more pressure on the ball is the question on the second phase, but he's hit it sweetly, and when things aren't going for you, they go in the bottom corner like it did there. Left-sided centre-back who scores from distance in the bottom corner. I feel like I've gone back about 8 seasons. I remember Andy Halls, I think it was for Guiseley against us, did pretty much the same thing from distance, and you kind of know it's not going to be your day when things like that happen.
Rochdale employed a very high press in the first half, which limited Altrincham to many opportunities to play. Why do you think that was?
Because you can't play on our pitch. It's really difficult to play on there. They're a team that you would associate as probably being more sort of a purist approach than us even. They like to play from the back through the thirds. They can be more direct, so we were ready for that. And I felt we dealt with that fairly well. And we ended up being more direct as well. So the pitch was dictating the style of play today.
Well, Altrincham got a bit more joy in the second half, a bit more of the ball. What did you say at half-time to the players, and did you change anything tactically?
Tactically, no, it was reinforcing the messages that we were getting on in the first half, because it was obvious that we weren't able to play as much as we'd like to, but we know that anyway. But it was also being aware of when to play, so not just aimlessly turning the ball round, making sure when they did drop off, because you're always going to drop off if the ball's coming in behind you a lot, to exploit that situation with our midfielders. And I felt the lads did that. I thought second half they were very good, and I stood in front of them and I'd use the word, I'm still proud of them, because they certainly, they're not throwing in the towel. They're getting punched in the stomach every single week at the moment, 1-0s, 2-1s, and it's really tough to take, but they go to the bitter end. And again, another day, Regan Linney scores 2 out of the 3 opportunities that he's had, and he's not been able to execute his moments. So yeah, it's been really difficult. I think we had 9 opportunities, didn't feel that many, probably some half chances in there. They've had 6. We've had 1 in the first half, they've had 3. They're just more clinical than us. So you look at Rodney's chance he's had, Regan's gone through 1v1 under a bit of pressure from the keeper and the defender. They managed to put him in a position where he can't finish. They have a moment at the death there where we obviously trying to get a win, because I feel we need a win, not just a draw. Yeah, they were just clinical. I mean, I think he's put it through Caleb's legs as well. Rodney's in a rich vein of form. And yeah, it's just a difficult one to say. It's difficult for me to stand in front here and sort of explain what's happening, because everyone can see it. Everyone's disappointed. Everyone feels that we're underachieving. We do as well. But we'll just come back bigger and better for these experiences.
Well, on a more positive note, Isaac Marriott's had a lot of struggles with injury over the last year, and he found the back of the net shortly into the second half. How big of a goal was that for him personally?
Yeah, it was any goal that a player returning from a long-term injury gets is a big boost for them, because it's a reward for all the hard work. And when Isaac scores that, it's a real leadership type of goal, because he's a lad who the team rely on, and he drives us forward. He wins battles that not a lot of other players can win. So delighted for Isaac to get that goal, yeah.
Well, Rochdale stole it at the death late on. I mean, look, they had all sorts of chances in the first half, not so many in the second. There's reports that there was a potential handball in there. Does that goal feel undeserved for them, or do you think it's just a showing of their quality? Yeah,
I think it's a showing of their quality. We've got to do better in that moment. There was chances to turn the ball around. I think Ozzy and George were having a little bout of head tennis, trying to figure out when to go a little bit longer, and we didn't. Rodney turned the ball over. Gilmore's ran through, and we've switched off their tracking runners, which was one of the reasons I brought George on. And then I've gone away from that trying to get the win, bringing on the extra forward in Bix, which nearly paid off because he went through and he's dragged his shot wide. But Gilmore's ability to run off the back of our attacking midfielders and find the pass unopposed, which he's always going to do because he's a quality player. And then Rodney's, as I said, in a rich vein of form where he's not going to miss that opportunity.
Carell Redding came on and got himself really stuck into the game. I mean, he was everywhere, forward, defensively. How important is he to this team?
I wouldn't say he's important to the team. I think he's a developing player. All the players are important. So when you're saying important, you mean like a big player. I don't think he's that yet. I think he's got the potential to be a big player for this football club. I think he's a lad who's learning his trade, learning what it's like in non-league. He's got bags of ability, bags of potential, and I'm hoping next season we'll really see what Carell Redding's all about. This season's been a season of learning for him.
Tom Crawford was replaced in the first half due to injury. Do you know anything more on that?
No, he just tweaked his groin, and again, it's another setback, isn't it? And I think I was speaking to Bry when we were flying, and I said injuries were the bit that could cost us. The pitch is the bit that could cost us, and both fronts. It certainly has hurt us at different things. I don't think the pitch has hurt us today. I think it was difficult for both teams because both teams are footballing teams. But our injuries have really reduced our ability to be as strong as we can be. But all teams have got injuries, and this is the bit where we've got to find out how to be better for that and the reasons behind that, why we've had some of the injuries that we've had. Because there'll be all reasons behind everything, and that's what good teams do. They don't bury their heads in the sand. They look into it and they find out the reasons, and that's what we're good at here.
Well, 3 games left of this season, and travelling to Halifax on Monday. They're of course a team in the playoffs, and it gives Altrincham a chance if they can get a result there. What do you need at Halifax?
We need a win. We need to win the next 3 games, don't we? And pray for a miracle. But I watched United last night, so miracles do happen. I'm a big United fan, and I was hoping we'd get that little bit of luck today, but it wasn't our day. And like I said, all I can say to you is the lads are fighting, and it's difficult as well because, as I said, it's not easy when you're coming out the wrong end of them type results. When you're getting thumped and you're miles away, you understand you've got a lot of work to do, but when you're coming out the wrong end of 1-0s and 2-1s, if we were looking at an opponent like that and seeing the performances we are when we're analysing them, we know at some point it's got to turn, but it's not turned for us, has it? Because we keep getting minor setbacks, all the bits that I've cited on a number of occasions that are hindering us. And all we can do is be what Altrincham are, gritty, resilient, keep going to the end, be very together. And that's the only bit that I would be disappointed with if I saw my players take the foot off the gas whatsoever. We've still got a mathematical chance, and while there's a chance, we'll keep fighting.
And finally, over 3,500 fans here inside the Joe Davison Stadium today, one of the higher attendances this season. What can you ask for the fans in these last 3 games? Just
keep backing us. I can understand everybody's disappointment and frustration because, as I said, we all feel we're underachieving right now. But again, the reality of it is how far we've come in a space of time. But because we overachieved so much last season, it feels 10 times worse. And because we've had such a strong season, or we wouldn't be in there now, we wouldn't be able to fight for playoffs and have the run that we've been on if we haven't been so fantastic all season until this point. We've got a puncher's chances. Please keep backing us. I know it must be difficult. I know my name must be dirt at times because I understand how football works, but surely you can see that the lads are fighting. And when you watch a team, that's the bare minimum you ask. I remember when I first came back in here, a lot of the fans said we just want to see players take pride in the shirt as a bare minimum. I challenge anyone to say that them players don't do that. Have we got enough quality at both ends of the pitch at the moment? That's probably not, because we're not winning games, are we? But the lads are certainly fighting, and as long as they're doing that, I believe that at some point it will turn. It might be too late, but we'll keep going till the bitter end.